says we're live.
Yeah, I guess we're live. Maybe I started 3 minutes early.
You might have.
Maybe I didn't start 3 minutes early. Maybe I don't know because there's so many freaking monitors. I'm in like this world of craziness.
I've only got one right now.
You only have one monitor right now.
Only one.
Only one monitor. Quick question. Does drinking Topo Chico make me more hipstery?
Or fat.
I don't think so. That's offensive, Jeff.
I'm sorry. You missed.
Hey everybody, it's Inside Craft Show live from what someone once described as a doctor's office with editing equipment in it. That's what we're doing here apparently, is we made a doctor's office with editorial equipment. All right, so
make that money.
What?
So wish we can make some.
Jeff wants to make doctor money. Dr. Worley, paging Dr. Beard. Oh, you'd be Beard Fosse from Scrubs.
I would be Beard Fosse.
Dr. Beard Fosse. All right, so today we're going to do a couple of things. One, we're going to talk about the GH5, using it in low light situations. That seems to me a lot of people are very angry about the uses of GH5 in low light. But before we go any further, we're going to cue up some fireworks in celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, fireworks in celebration of 1,000 plus subs. We are absolutely floored and shocked. Like, I cannot even begin to tell you how excited we are. We paid for these very expensive fireworks. You can see them going off here. Cost us a fortune for the fireworks themselves. Fireworks City, just lots of fireworks. And that's kind of amazing, right? Nighttime drone, this was a completely legal thing. Nighttime drone, fireworks, exploding everywhere. Spared no expense. Hammond style, Jurassic Park. And check this out. So this is my little segue. Here we go. This is shot on the GH5. So this is GH5 footage, 60 frames a second. A dad holding his daughter, who they're both huge fans of Inside Craft Show, by the way, epic fans. And you can see it's super slow-mo stuff. Look how beautiful it is. It's pretty stuff. I mean, it's exposing really well. Jeff did about a 20-minute grade. Not even that. What's a fair statement?
Probably about 3 or 4.
Jeff says 3 or 4 minute grade. Jeff did a 3 or 4 minute grade, put it together. There we go. Now we're rolling. You can see the fireworks going off. Absolutely gorgeous. I think it's pretty exciting to see that kind of content. So anyway, the point of saying this is... Vape break. The point of saying this is... this is all shot low light. There's nothing crazy about this. This is with the Lumix, with the Leica 12-60 lens, just kind of running stuff out. So, all right, there you go. There's some footage of that. So that's some low light. And I'm going to segue that in to say one of the most amazing parts about using the GH5, one of the features is that it doesn't do as bad as people say in low light. Now, I know a lot of people are frustrated and confused and angry about its low light capabilities because they want to apparently... they want this camera to be night vision so that they can do whatever it is they want to do with themselves. But the reality of the situation is it is what it is, right? This camera does really well. We've talked about the stops before. By the way, just from my understanding, I've done a ton of research. I don't know why we had a glitch there. Sorry about that, by the way. I've done a ton of research, and from my understanding, the actual native ISO of the GH5 coming from good sources is 200. So the native is 200. So put to rest the 400, put to rest the 800. I've said 800 before because I'm such a redhead that I got stuck in it, but it is actually 200. And even more importantly, when you're in Vlog, of course, it's the bottom end is 400. So if you're shooting Vlog, the bottom end is 400. Just keep that in mind as we talk about this low light stuff. Off to the comments real quick. Let's see what's going on. Zing. I'm hearing sound fine. I hear sound. It was just me. Oh, we're discussing terrible sound. What software are you using for the live stream? I am using Wirecast. We had to, another pro tip, when a client needs something and you want something, bring those two together for an epic surprise. I don't know what any of that means, but still, that's what we did. We had a client that needed it. They were paid for it, so now we have it. So that is what we're doing. Speed booster and Sigma all day. Yeah, absolutely, you can do that, but this is not. This is no speed booster. This is shooting straight off the Leica glass. So we are going 100%. Off the Leica 12-60. I believe the ISO on that was 800, and there was no noise correction. No noise correction?
No noise.
No noise correction from the bearded one in the back there. You can barely see. There he is. He's working. We actually are working on projects and taking a break to hang out with you folks because we love all of our community. And again, we had fireworks for it. All right, so let's talk about GH5 low light. So I'm going to show some of the footage. If you haven't seen, I'm sure you've seen the Anamorphic video, but let's kind of do it with commentary and talk through it a little bit because there's some really interesting pieces on it. So in the Anamorphic content that we shot the other day and posted up, those were those SLR Magic. We're using these guys. We're using these SLR Magic Anamorphics, right?
2.0.
The 2.0s, Jeff says. So on the 70 mil of that lens, the WFO, which stands for wide frickin' open, is 4, a T4, and the other two I believe are T8. Is that right? The 35 and the 50 are T8.
35 is 2.4.
35 is a T24, and the 50 is a 2.8. So anyway, there you go. So you want to kind of stay away from that normally with Anamorphic. If you go WFO, you end up in a really weird blooming situation. Sometimes you get kind of a look that doesn't look, well, I say that with these Anamorphics, some Anamorphic, you know, we get to the high-end glass, it's a different beast. So with those, I don't like to go totally WFO if I don't have to. So we decided to shoot the majority of that little action gimmick that's a parody of a real movie. We decided to shoot it at 400, and only when we had to did we bump up to 800, and we did some 1600. But I'm going to show you some of the raw footage, some of the graded footage, and you can see them side by side so we can talk it through. Does that sound cool? Are you guys into that or no? Just answer it. The bearded one. They say, hi, bearded one, LD Films. Jeff says hello. Maybe I'll run him a mic next time. Do we want Jeff to talk? He doesn't really talk much. He says, na. CRFTSHO, what is the true benefit of shooting native ISO with the GH5 given that the DR is going to be virtually the same across all of them? It's going to come down to noise and grain. That's what it comes down to. And the fact that it's so low is kind of an interesting thing. On a red, for example, we have a red dragon and we have a red scarlet. On the red dragon, if we shoot it, they're doing construction outside, so sorry for that. If we shoot on the red dragon, anything outside of that native ISO, we do potentially have a challenge with noise. There is, and I don't mean just going up, we actually will find noise even in lower level depending on the lens and what you're shooting at and what your T-stop, F-stop is. So a lot of times the shooting at the native ISO means that you're going to get the most correct engineered specs out of your sensors. So that's really the point on it. So it's not necessarily about dynamic range as much as it is image quality, and it does make a difference. I promise. You can certainly see it. Again, 200 ISO is pretty dark, or it's pretty slow. So you're going to be fine on the exposure side of it. You just have to fight for more light to come in, right? So daylight would be rock and roll. All right, so we're going to jump in and talk about the stuff. Yes, please. Here we go. Enough of me talking, right? All right, so I'm just gonna. There's a little intro again because I wanted to give Kyle from. All right, so I'm hoping, there we go. All right, what I'm going to do, guys, since we're having like funky issues, I'm going to switch back to me for 1 second and let this catch back up so we can stop over. Yeah, the internet is not liking me in this building again, in our doctor's office / production facility. I don't really even know what went on. I am talking. There, the signal dropped. It should be back. I don't know what happened. There we go. Now we should be back up so you guys can kind of understand it. Let me re-queue this guy. Yeah, he looks like he's re-queued. Sorry about that, folks. Still kind of new to the live game. It's all good. There we go. Now maybe? Okay, everybody's here. We got everybody. Everybody's in the car. We're all riding together. The stream health is extremely low. How is that possible? I'm on a T1 line. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Everything hates me. Everything. The internet. All right, now we're going to try it again. So I'm going to kick off the video. Here goes the stuff again. All right, so there's Kyle's video. Like I said earlier, I wanted to give Kyle's logo a little love just because he, Kyle from Unink Studios helped us out. So you can see on the top we have the graded. On the bottom we're going to have the raw, and you can see a little bit of the difference. The color pop obviously is one thing. Jeff did do a Michael Bay teal and orange grade just because we felt it looked cool. Those lens flares are 100% real. There is no fake lens flares inside of the space whatsoever. So you can kind of see the darkness and the shifting between them. And I'll go over some of the shots and how we approach those. But for the most part, we shot everything at 400 ISO. So we shot everything in this 400 ISO. We did not jump into Vlog. That'll be a whole separate test, a whole separate conversation. But we did shoot this with our kind of custom standard settings because, again, we didn't have a ton of time. This was our Sunday, and we wanted to get back to drinking beer. And I believe there's a wrestling pay-per-view that sucked terribly. So we should have spent more time on the video, I guess, is the moral of the story. All right. So yeah, you can kind of see switching back and forth. We're just jumping through it. Now, I looped it twice so we could kind of talk through it and see if there's anything that you guys might be interested in and curious about. We lit this with 3 lights. There were no overhead lights. So we have that one, that work light. We have the HMI that I talked about in the video. And then we have a 300 with, I can't remember. No, I took the schmutz off. So that's a 300, an ARRI 300, just a little Fresnel. Not LED, just classic tube glass, a good Fresnel. Just pumping through there just to see how it would react with 3 different styles of light, like nice sunlight, a weird ambient LED light, and then we threw in a tungsten light. So that was part of our lighting test to see how the quality of it stood up, which I was pretty happy with. I'm especially happy with how it treated my beautiful, beautiful new hairdo that I received. Thought that was pretty rad. Seems pretty good for 400. I know, right? That's raw. That's what I'm saying. So here you go. Now you guys are going to see the next bit you're going to come into is you're going to start to see the SLR Magic 70mm T4 ISO 800. You tell me how that looks. I think it looks fantastic. That is untouched. What you're seeing now is completely raw, straight out of the camera. Yeah, see, we're repoing the camera. It's completely 100% straight out of the camera stuff. That's T4 ISO 800 on the anamorphic glass. So we're shooting in the sweet spot. No, I'm sorry. We're shooting WFO on that lens. So we're shooting wide frickin' open on that lens, and it still looks fantastic. I don't know how well it looks over the stream, but, you know, in terms of this, and maybe what I'll do is, I lost the signal. It'll be back, guys. Hang on. I don't know what's up with the Shogun. It's freaking out. What I will do is go back and post these links. So when we hit the next one, we get the SLR Magic. It's going to be the 50mm, and that's at a T4. So that's kind of getting to the sweet spot of the lens, and its ISO is 400, and it looks phenomenal to me. And if you look at the graded version in the long form of the video, even in the graded version, it looks absolutely killer. It's gorgeous. It's clean. The images work. I'm going to jump. I'll actually hit up all the questions before we jump in on the piece. And I'll answer the anamorphic question in 1 second. So again, we're looking at 50mm T4 ISO 400. I feel like I'm in a Michael Bay movie. Maybe I'm playing Ghost Recon, Wildlands, and I finally found the ACR, which is the best gun in the game. Noob check. And then, you know, it just bounced. The other thing is, if you notice, I'm wearing a white hat. We actually, on the close-ups of me, the white hat was actually kicking off a weird bloomy flare gimmick. It was absolutely weird. Now we're back to the 70mm. This is T4 ISO 1600, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. So again, we're looking at the image. It's lit. It is a T4, which is WFO on the lens, and it's at 1600. There's no speed booster used. These are the SLR Magic lenses right on. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yes.
Yes, Jeff says. They are directly on it. That's kind of how we approached that, is we just went straight to the lenses, jumped right in, put them on, and just treated them like, okay, let's go workhorse with it and see what happens if we go workhorse and just treat it in that space. And I think the stuff looks good, especially, again, my beautiful hair looks absolutely fantastic. It is just rock solid. I was going to put the wig on, but I think I took it out of the house, or took it out of the space here. All right, so sorry for some of the hiccups during this, guys. I don't know what the deal is. Like, the Shogun is just suddenly cutting out, and the Shogun runs in, the GH5 runs out of this into the Shogun, from the Shogun to the little Black Magic gimmick that runs in Thunderbolt into a computer, into other stuff. So I apologize for any hiccups. All right, so let's talk about questions. What do you have questions-wise that we can kind of talk about in that? And then I'll go into my next subject. You guys are really selling me on Anamorphic like crazy. We're not trying to. That's the truth, I promise. These came to, like, this whole package of lenses is part of a project that me and Jeff are working on. So, you know, we're working on those, and you know, shout out to Matt for that. But we're working on a project, and we just needed to spend some time kind of toying with it and developing on them. We've shot, again, we've said this, we're new to the Micro Four Thirds. Well, Jeff has more experience than I do, but the bearded one does. But we're new to this space, so we wanted to make sure that we kind of attacked everything cleanly and approached it very effectively. So there was a question asked earlier from Trevor, my rock star buddy. How you doing, Trev? Did you consider any other anamorphics before deciding to shoot on the SLR Magic? Of course we did. They were all way too expensive. Hawks, what are the other ones we love?
Hawk Vantages are great.
Yeah, we wanted some Hawk Vantages. Those are PL lenses. Not going to work. We do want to shoot on some other set of lenses, and I know there's some other cool MFT lenses. We went with these because, again, they were relatively cheap for us to rent and to kind of get our hands on and go through the process. So we got these because they do what they need to do. We did not buy them. Again, you know me. I say never buy a lens. I say rent every piece of glass you possibly can. Actually, I take that back. I would buy maybe a couple of like cheap, good DSLR primes and maybe one zoom. Like I love my Leica. The 12-60 is my favorite that I've shot on so far. But I would have those just as so you can go shoot whatever you want. But then I would also always rent glass otherwise because I think it's going to benefit you across the board so much more. You can put more money in your pocket and you can have the clients pay for it. Topo Chico break. Let me get some hipster juice. All right. So LD Films, I was in the market for the 25 SLR 25 Anamorphic for 1100. Ever used that setup before? I've not used the 25. I would love the 25 very much. We actually had to, if you noticed in the wide shot, and I might be able to cue it up. Let me see if we're gonna treat Wirecast like an editor here. So this could go terribly awry very quickly, which it already has, but it could go. Excuse me. Don't drink bubbly water on the air. Note to self. It could go even more terribly awry. So let me see if I can actually cue up what I want to talk about. Yeah, this shot right here, if it'll let me do it, I just have to do that and then do this. Nope. Nope. Doesn't let me do it. It's so stupid. Try it again. No, dang it. Can't really edit with this thing very well. Sorry about that, guys. I was going to try and show you the wide shot because we had to back all the way up for that wide on that 35. We were like basically out the front doors of that building just trying to get the wide set up. And it, you know, I would have loved to have a 25 because I could have stepped us in a little bit. If you notice on the curvature of the side of it, you actually start to see Anamorphics have that little wrap on the edges. You can crop it out. You can do those kind of things, but it had that wrap and we wanted to, I would have preferred that me and myself were not stuck in that wrap altogether. Did anybody get the Easter egg of Jeff walking in? Was it just funny that Jeff walked in, or was it funny because Jeff was walking in on his phone, which has been kind of his gimmick for a long time, except for today because he's working. He's always working, actually. That's just a gag, but whoops, spoiled the meat. All right, let's jump to some things. Have you used Vedra primes before? Do you typically use native MFT lenses or speed boosts or EFs? Thanks. I have not used the Vedra. I really want to try them really, really badly. It's actually on our lens test. We want to do a lens shootout and stack a bunch of different glass together, including like some Zeiss CPs, and if we can get a PL mount, throw a PL in there and throw some piece of PL glass just to really mix it up. I have not used them. I would very much like to. I do not use any speed boosters. It's not to say that I don't like speed boosters. I'm not a huge speed booster guy, only because I think Metabones makes an amazing product. I think, you know, the Speed Booster brand is awesome. I think it does tremendously good stuff. However, I'm just this weird purist that if I can't get it within the window of what the native lens is, I don't want to use it. Now, that's not me being a jerk or a snob. Sincerely, it's just how I grew up learning to shoot. I learned on film and approached it that way. And so kind of handled it that. What do you think about the Sigma 1835? I think the Sigma 1835 is one hell of a workhorse. I would have potentially bought it had I not gotten the Leica at a better deal. I love that lens. I think it's a workhorse. It's a great lens. I'd use it. We may end up picking one up for a second GH5 because we're in the market for one of those. So maybe I'll go find some of the haters that have trashed on this channel and ask them if they'll give us sell us their GH5, like the guy that's like, I'm returning my GH5 because it's not made of bacon. I don't know what that means, but that's what he said. I promise. Or she, but I'm pretty sure it was a dude. Jumping back to him, I got the 12-35 and the 42-17. Ooh, that 42-17 is sexy. Would you guys recommend for a faster lens that's somewhat wide? Well, I'm a big fan of traditional cinema numbers, so I like 24s and 25s, so preferably a 25. You can find a really sick 25. I don't know exactly which lens, because I'm going to throw you numbers like, oh yeah, well if you got that, then I'd go get a set of Zeiss CP2s and get the Canon gimmick and go that whole route. So I don't totally know all about MFT lenses. I apologize, it's still new to me. So if you know more, please educate me because I love it. That's what this community is about. And we've talked about that last time, but that's what it's about is pushing that forward. Wow, you guys are really awesome today and giving good comments. I I just picked up all 3 anamorphic adapters myself. It looks like, yeah, Trev, I'm telling you, I'm floored. And frankly, do a test for yourself. The one thing that was really awesome was shooting. It's a little bit of a mind meld. You have to like shift your brain a bit. But we started shooting, we shot anamorphic, but prepped to deliver in 16:9. The close-ups and the way images look, even though, because you can set the frame guides if you're using like an external monitor, like a Shogun or Small HD, which I think Trev is the one that pointed that out. It works, and it has a D-squeeze. Set your frame guides to 16:9 so you frame everything inside of it. And if you want, and there's a little quick tip, if you're going to shoot for 16:9, you can put stands on the edge of it and just bang light right in the lens, give you epic lens flares. Have a grip standing over there and just have them pan the lens in and out if you want that really J.J. Abrams looking jam. Hello from Russia. I just had my hair cut by a Russian woman. I promise. That happened last night. I just got my hair cut by a Russian woman. She was from Siberia, she told me. And she's very happy to live in the South where it's blazing hot. Speaking of heat, I kind of wanted to talk about, I know this is a live video and I should have more content up. Next time I'll just put a better package together, but we're kind of busy. I wanted to talk about using the GH5 as a workhorse. I had a little bit of fear. Jeff and I just did a project where we had to shoot a tremendous amount of content. Let's put fireworks on there and let's see what happens if we just do some fireworks again. Yeah, let's just do more fireworks because I think it's fun. So this is at the end of a project we had to do where we worked, it was 2 12s or basically 2 10s, and the cameras are out in the heat, and where we are in the South for this particular project, the high was 98 and the humidity was at like 80 or 90, and basically the heat index was 110 degrees. So we were working in brutal conditions. Not like desert conditions, but brutal in the sense of like humidity plus camera usually equals bad situation. And so we had 2 sets of GH5s running, and then we had a bunch of still photographers running as well. And so we were just kind of running back and forth. So I just wanted to kind of go over a couple things. First off, the battery life. We used our battery gimmick, that dummy battery gimmick. If you've seen that little guy, we have another video about it, but there's a dummy battery gimmick that, I'm going to come back to me now because I missed me. Hello, me. There's a dummy battery gimmick that's out there that you plug it in and allows you to connect to other types like V-mount or Anton Bauer, which is what everything is currently running off of right now. The Shogun's running off of it and the GH5, and that's how you're getting signal through. And that battery, we had one of those. It lasted 3 days. We set it up earlier, and it just literally ran 3 days and killed it like a champ. So, battery conditions on it, great. But we also had, the other camera did not have that rig. So the other camera was running off basic batteries, and it was aces. Like, it was like absolutely insane aces. Like, totally held for the full, I think we had to, did we ever have to recharge during the day?
Yes.
Okay, so we had to recharge twice during the day, but it wasn't that big of a deal because we had enough batteries to cycle through. So the other GH5 equally working through it. In the heat, we actually noticed no issues, and we were both very nervous about this. We had 0 issues from heat with the camera. In fact, everything was working pretty much flawlessly. It was pretty amazing. And so in those extreme conditions, we expected it to be that we would run into that. Now, of course, if we went into AC or we took a break for lunch and we came back, the lenses were fogged for a good 10 minutes as we had to let them kind of air out and reacclimate to the world. But I just wanted to reiterate, we were also shooting really long pieces. So we shot like a really long opening. We shot tons and tons, like almost a terabyte worth of, no, that's not true. Well, maybe it is. Is that close? No, half a terabyte worth of content. Is that right?
600 gigs first day, but that's also stills.
Yeah, so we shot 600 plus gigs the first day with stills included, and about 550 the second day with stills included. So we really beasted it up. Again, camera held up. And we did use those Lexar cards. Knock on wood, I don't know. They worked really well for us. They've always provided pretty well in doing that. We shot slow-mo, all that kind of stuff. When I can show you guys some of that content, I absolutely will. It's pretty fun stuff. We did some crazy rigs too with GoPros that were super awesome, like rigging it to the front of a certain amusement ride. And we did also have a bet, which was if someone caught another guy. If our goal was, there was one ride that was like really crazy, and so we asked someone if they saw someone puking, if they would capture an image of it, and one of the stills teams did it, and so I had to go buy a round of beer at Wrap. All right, to the comments. Lost my signal. Every time I say "all right," the camera goes away.
Quit saying all right.
Yeah, apparently. Sorry about that. I'm going to go to the comments. It's a little confusing. Too many things. I don't play video games and talk on TV. What advice would you give to someone who is a one-person crew just starting out in videography? All right, Nick, here's the best thing I can give you. Stay centered, stay focused, stay frosty, like all the time. The best thing would be is get yourself a kit. We don't have one in here. If you can figure out how to pack all your gear into a 1510, that's a Pelican 1510. That's the airline version. It can go, it can travel with you. If you can pack most of your kit in that, minus your lights, go that route. The best advice I can give is shoot as much as you possibly can. Find your own clients and shoot for them. Shoot tons and tons and tons of coverage. Because the trick to this is you're gonna come up with some pretty cool grandeur ideas, maybe some really great filmmaking ideas and whatever it might be. But if I were doing this, and you said videography, so I'm assuming that's for business. If I were doing this, I'd make sure I'd get as much coverage as I can, because nothing sucks more than hitting the edit bay and not having SHIT double hockey sticks. It's just, I don't know what that means. Shittle? What does that mean? I should have just said it. But nothing sucks more than that. So just go out and try and find as many clients as you can, and make sure that when you get those clients, you start shooting for them. Here's a tip that we started doing pretty regularly, and it's bumped up for us, is that whatever we shoot, when we shoot like the commercial I want to show you guys at some point, we went ahead and made sure that we prepped our brains and our clients for potential cut downs. So it might be a 30-second spot, but we would get extra bits of coverage. And so that extra, dadgum this thing, those extra bits of coverage would end up becoming Instagram pieces, little YouTube segments, or whatever it might be. And not long ones, just like 10, 15-second pieces. And then you just kick them out over to your client at the end, and they're thrilled because now they've gotten content from you. I'm sorry about all these hiccups. I don't know what the Shogun is doing. Maybe it's just tired. Have you had Jello IBIS issues in high heat? I've had a few of those. You know what? I've had Jello issues all the time. I've had them from everything, and that's partly to do with the camera itself. You know, that's any time we get into this electronic camera thing, when you have an electronic shutter and get into all the space of, not shutter, but how the electronic processes, Jello is always going to be, rolling shutter is always potentially going to be an issue. So you just have to think very cleverly, slow your pans down, don't whip it around, or just don't show those shots to the client. Hello. Me as well. Yeah, I know, I'm with you. Someone online was selling GH5 body with SLR Magic 25 Hyper Prime 95 for $20.50. Yeah, send me the link. I'm curious. That's a sick deal. Yeah, it totally is a sick deal. That's like ridiculously sick. If it's still available. I'm trying to catch up to you guys. Also, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the oh man. Thank you, Nick. Nickel bees. Nickel bees. Nickel bees. Nickel bees. All right. I could have made a Nickelback joke, but I like you, Nickel bees. So we're staying with Nickel bees. LD films, and when I have the GH5 on a tripod and a pan, Jello is extreme. Always have to turn it off to get. Yeah, you should always turn the IBBLs. Did you guys see that video? There's a video we posted. You know, we did the first one that was kind of not clickbaity, but just trying to draw people in to say, hey, look, check this out. This is an issue. And then we followed it up where we shot another video where we turned it all off. It's still there no matter what, and we proved it. We showed us turning off the lens. I mean, I guess as much proof as YouTube is. We turned off on the lens, and we turned it off internally, and it still was there. So here's the thing. I'm kind of hoping that maybe, if we're lucky, whatever happens with this new update coming out, whenever that comes, maybe that will help solve that problem, because in theory, based on all the stats that I've read online and the rumors and all this stuff, it should maybe give us enough horsepower from a processing standpoint to help eliminate it, because I have a feeling it has to do with data rate. But we'll see as it goes. I don't think it's all just IBBS. I think it's a combination of things that are leading up to it just not being able to process that information that quickly. Do you think any companies outside of Netflix or streaming companies for content will accept GH5 footage? I guarantee you, unless you walk up to them and say, hey, this is GH5 footage, they won't know the difference. I have, let's see, is there any, there's no GoPro or anything weird in Convergence, is there, Jeff?
No, not in Convergence, with Sons of Liberty.
Yeah, so we had another movie called Sons of Liberty where I had these big fight scenes between these two chicks. Really good fight scene, by the way. These two ladies, really good fight scene, and so I wanted to mix it up, so I strapped GoPros to the wrist, so when they punched, you had the perspective of them hitting the other person. So I pulled GoPros, and these aren't Hero 5 Blacks, these aren't even Hero 4s, these were GoPro 3s, so we took 1080, up-res it to 2K, yeah, because we delivered in 2K, up-res to 2K, and they never said anything. None of the streaming services ever flagged it. It's only when you tell them that you're shooting GH5. They don't need to know. What they actually want to know, typically, is that they want to know if it's 1080, 2K, 4K. And by the way, if you can deliver in 4K, if you're shooting a feature on the GH5 or any other short film, try and deliver in 4K. Not true 4K, but UHD 4K, YouTube 4K. Try and deliver in that if you can. And the reason why is because there's so much this is a business thing from the film side, and I don't normally talk a lot about film on this channel, but we will because I like you guys. From the film side, a lot of it has to do with basically overseas, they buy a lot of 4K content. It's like hugely popular. So start shooting really cool 4K narrative pieces and that tell a good story. Even short films, guys, you can sell them. So you just got to find the right connection point. And I might dig some of those up and share them with you, but you can sell that stuff back that way. Also, 4K stock footage, it's getting huger and huger because these 4K movies now need 4K stock footage. Lost the signal again. These 4K movies now need 4K stock footage, so it's getting to be a really, really, really big issue. Just something to think about. Trev, I'm going to hit you up in 2 seconds, brother. What's your quick standard GH5 profile setup? I have a GH4. Didn't know if you guys kept it a secret or not. No, we don't share it at all. It's -2, -2, -2. Is that right?
That's for one of our scenes.
Yeah, one of the ones we use a lot is -2, -2, -2. A lot of people complain about the sharpness. They want it to look more cinematic. Well, then blur it in post. I'm not dealing with that. I need a little bit of sharpness just because, again, it is a DSLR, and frankly, it's not a film camera, nor is a Red a film camera, nor is an Alexa a film camera. So the sharpness of trying to match film is not really going to happen. So you're just kind of taking away potentially beautiful moments. The reason I do pull it down a little bit on the sharpness element is the highlights. That's what really annoys me, is when I can see. That's what really annoys me, is where I can see the brightness in the highlights. I don't know what's causing the signal issue. It's got to be a cable or something just going awry. All right, Trev, if you don't have any lights, would you just get whatever lights you can afford, or rent something and you could afford really good lighting? Any suggested kits? Yes. Where is the freaking light? Do we have one in here?
Don't think so.
All right, so these cat lights. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Take the helm. Talk to people.
Just grab it real fast, or I can grab it.
Talk to them.
Oh, it's fine. But yeah, it's a cat light is what we used. It's a 3,000 lumen light, I think is what it is. It's LED. It's the one that we used in the back section of the anamorphic shoot we did. It's that back wall where there's a camera behind Drew's back. That's one of our favorite shots. Here's the light, and it's a very powerful light.
Whoa.
What's that other one?
Well, I was bringing them both of them in.
All right, I forget what this other one is. It's the original one we did.
Yeah.
Our episode.
I don't know why the signal's going out because I brought the cat lights in, but yeah, we're weird, right? How do you like that? We don't even care what the code of conduct is supposed to be of like, this is how you do a YouTube video live. We're just, whatever, we go off the channel. So check these cat lights out, right? Yeah. Whoa. And the flare is pretty rad. I don't know what's going on with the thing. Anyway, these cat lights here are, they're battery powered. So you can charge them up. It's got a little charge indicator. This one's pretty low. I love these. The output on these is basically like I'd probably say it's like a 200 Fresnel because it is LED, so it's super bright. And what I do is I take the cat light. If I didn't have any money, I would take this cat light. I was going to save this video, but you guys will just watch the video when I post it anyway, but I wanted to share it with you. This is baking paper. Check it out, parchment baking paper. I don't know what they call it overseas. Anybody overseas? There's our Russian friend still here. Friend from Russia. What do you call this over there? We call it parchment paper or baking paper. So I just put it over the lamp, and now I have a little bit of a softer source, and you double it down as you need to, right? Baking paper, because it can handle the heat. I wouldn't put it on like anything more than like a 300 Fresnel, like a regular kind of film lamp. I'd do that.
Put it on 1K.
Jeff says you can put it on a 1K.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to handle that temperature.
Yeah,
you just
put it on 1K
and it's cheap,
Fresnel.
and it's basically like 216, I think. It's like 216 in Lee filters in that stuff. Babe Papriski.
Don't put it on a 1K HMI or hard.
That light is amazing. And guys, they're 40 bucks. They're battery powered. You carry them around with you. Use them however you need. This, I can't even turn it on in here because we won't be able to see. This one,
I think it's 3,000 lumens.
Is 3,000 lumens, or maybe even more. All I know is this is the light that was in the short film, the anamorphic film. This is one light lighting that entire room, giving us those really sick blue flares you saw. That's where this is coming from. And this lamp, again, I think this one's like 70 bucks. But again, if you're looking for on the cheap, it's really well balanced. The only thing you have to watch out for is, see how it's got a ring in here? This whole area, it can create like a round sphere. So you definitely, if you're using it as a backlight or a key light, you definitely need to cover it up with some paper to knock it down. But what I would actually honestly suggest doing is taking this bad boy and just bouncing the hell out of it. because it's going to bounce up off the ceiling, especially if you're in a light room, and just put it a couple feet off your subject, so it's like a bounce soft down key, and then bring one of those other lights around and kick it, and then one on the back, you'd be done. Easy peasy. Oh, and then the other one.
Because we use that as well.
We use this as well. Yeah, I forgot about this. So I know we're plugging cat lights, but I'm obsessed. They're so cheap. So this little bad boy, look at that thing. So you can get the killer like little flares right out of a frame. Look at this. Look.
I think that's 175 lumens.
Yeah, that's 175 lumens. What's awesome about it? Do we have any metal? Yep.
We do.
Can you guys see this? Watch.
Kinda. And there you go.
It's magnetic. It's got a magnetic base. So again, throw it up in a car. Like if you're lighting a car interior and you want to use that, this thing is a great gimmick. Going back to the nose. What cheap, good ND filters would you buy for the GH5? Well, I'll tell you this much. I wouldn't use Rocket Fish. You remember them? We had we just recently used some Rocket Fish filters. That didn't go so well. I mean, they did good enough, but man, they changed the color a little bit.
They did great for us 5 years ago.
Yeah, they were amazing 5 years ago. Cheap, good ND filters. I don't like to be cheap on ND because it's so important. I typically, the cheapest I would get is ProMaster Pros. That's what I would go with. ProMaster Pros. There might be one. What's the other one we like? Hoya
does
Hoya.
good.
Hoya's not terrible. Hoya's not terrible. That's what I would go with. At the end of the day, does the GH5 with speed booster work well enough in low light to create? Or is it so awful I should save extra $300 and buy an ASO? Oh, you should go back and watch the beginning of the video if you haven't seen that, where we showed some of that footage. I think these guys will attest. Like, we were shooting 1600 with no noise, 800 with no noise, 400 with no noise, and we were shooting at T4s the entire time. So we didn't really need a speed booster. I think it's more a matter of lighting. It depends on what you're doing. Are you shooting nighttime exteriors a ton? I would use the A7S for nighttime exteriors because that's what it's really good for. I would not use the GH5 for that unless it was like mandated to do so. But even then, if I was using the GH5, I would just make note that I'm going to need more light. It's going to cost a little more money. Consider the GH5, as weird as this is about to sound, more of a production camera than the A7S because it requires the same kind of... You're almost stop to stop with an Alexa. An Alexa technically is 14 stops. It's technically 14 stops. So that means you need more light to light it, and that's a big boy camera. A Red is a little bit lazier than that. It's 16, right? But Alexa does have better... It has like 14, 15... somewhere in there. I'm sorry, the Alexa might be a 12 and its highlights are a 14, whatever it is. You're close to an Alexa is my point. So I think the A7S is a great camera. I just think it's a very good specialty camera. I would totally use them all day long, especially if I was doing a lot of dark subject matter, like where I knew I wasn't going to have the ability to control and or create light. Water break. You don't have cat products in Germany. I will figure it out, LD Films. Let me make a note. I got a buddy. I got a friend. We'll smuggle some in, dude. We got a plan. We're gonna. Will everybody help us smuggle cat lights to Germany? I think that would be epic. Oh, did you see that? The government tried to cut me off. They can't cut off. They can't stop the signal. Just kidding. Surprised this thing took long. Oh man, thanks, Chairborne. I appreciate that. I'm surprised it took 1K too. I don't even know what any of this stuff means. I'm just excited that we have a community. That's where I've been kind of more excited than anything else. Hey, what Alessa said about ND filters. What do you recommend? I have a circ polarizer and UV filter. An ND filter is major and necessary because the one thing I hate is seeing people take the shutter and they crank the shutter down like you're shooting a still. You're not shooting a still, you're shooting motion. So, man, the camera's just going crazy. You're not shooting still, you're shooting motion, so you're actually going to interrupt the flow of your motion. So sometimes people complain about not having enough motion blur because they've taken the shutter down to 90 sorry, I talk in degrees because it's film. Mine's set to film terms. So a go to 90 is 1 over 110 or whatever it is. I'm terrible at math. Fail. Let's see what else we got.
You have the idea right.
Yeah. Huge color cast on Rocket Fish. Thank you, Geoff. Is it Jeff or Geoff? Can I say Geoff? I have a friend, Jeff. Can you be Geoff? And if you're not Geoff and you want to just be Jeff, I'll support that too. Thank you, Jeff Geoff. How about that? Eh? The best Vario ND for the GH5 is the SLR Magic Mark II. It is killer. No, it's good. The Tiffin for $70, $80, $90. I've used the really high-end variable ND. I have a ProMaster variable ND. I like it. It was way too expensive. It's like 130 bucks. It does a good job, but I also use it like for stills and other things. I'm a big fan of using ND to knock it down. The A7S is an amazing camera. I don't want you guys to think I'm trashing it. All right, I'm a big fan of it. I live in the same town as Cat's headquarters. Hey, I tell you what, we should just gang up and get Kat to send us all. Maybe I can get them to give us prize support. I just shamelessly plugged their stuff for a while. Maybe we can get them to give us prize support. Wouldn't that be rad? I've used my A7S after I got the GH5. A7S is great, but GH5 has so much more than low light. Totally right, Oscar. Great quote. In fact, if I were Panasonic marketing, I would take this quote directly from you and paste it everywhere so that people would shut the hell up. Pronounced Jeff. Got it, Jeff. Just kidding. That was like a stupid dad joke. When everyone, is there a punch button? I love Crash Show. These. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, you guys are awesome. Sully, I appreciate it. You've been there from almost day one, brother. I truly appreciate this 1K celebration. I think we need more fireworks, guys. Fireworks. Let's go on. Sure did. Note to self. The drive went to sleep. Fireworks! I got the fireworks. This is in celebration. 1K fireworks. This is a drone, by the way.
Legal drone.
Yeah, this is a legal drone. I had to pay. Hey, is anybody a drone pilot? Because let me give you a pro tip. Get your nighttime exemption. I paid this guy, very talented pilot, but you can see it's not really a hard shot. I had to pay this guy like $650, and he worked just over 1 hour and 12 minutes. 8 minutes of actually filming, because the fireworks only lasted 8 minutes. $650 for an hour and 12 minutes. Somebody think about that. Do the math on that. Somebody go do that. All right, I'm going away from fireworks. I don't want to break it. So here's what happened. The hard drive we used fell asleep, and it would not let me connect. So note to self, no more hard drive usage in that way anymore. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If you are, get that nighttime waiver, Jeff. Get the nighttime waiver. It'll be a huge benefit to your business, because we were forced to hire this guy, and it turned out like stupidly good. All right, Chairborne, what you got? Metabones. The thing about the Metabones is you can use the Sigma for low light cinematic stuff, and then you can also have options for other Canon glass for stills and as well. Just opens up options. Totally agree. Not denying the Metabones. This is, I don't know how old you are, Chairborne. You don't have to tell me. In fact, don't. I don't need to know. But what I do know is that I'm an old man. I've been shooting the same way for so long. It's hard for me to wrap my head around these newfangled ways of changing lenses on the back end. Like I'm not smart enough. I'm really not. I just don't have the ability. Guys, I'm turning the fan on because it's hot in here, so it might sound like we're in a wind tunnel. Let's see. They're trying to smoke us out. That's a little low. Can you hear that? Is that fan super annoying, or can we get away with it? Is it? You can fly at nighttime recreation as long as you're not violating any airspace. Actually, not. I don't know. Last I read on the study, you cannot fly at night whatsoever. You have 30 minutes after sunset in order to do it, and something like that. You can fly at nighttime. Yeah, it sucks because right now it's only per area. Yeah, that's right. That's true. We're talking about drones. Welcome to Drone Talk. Just kidding. Is it normal for the GH5 to clip more around 80 IRE versus 100 IRE without using Vlog, just on standalone? That's what I'm finding. Tess, I don't think so. Jeff, do you have any thought on this? She's asking, so let's ask the colorist. Ladies and gentlemen, come stand hither.
I'm right here.
But they can't hear you because you talk so
low.
So Tess's question, which is really interesting, that Tess, I'm making a note to make a test. She's saying that she's noticing a clipping at 80 IRE over 100. Is that off zebras, or are you actually talking about on scopes, Tess? Damn you.
Yeah.
Not you, Tess. Damn the monitor. Tess, you're awesome. You've been here for a long time. Is it from your scopes, or are you talking about from zebras? If you could let me know, that'd be amazing to know. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have not.
It sounds
seen
like a
any
zebras
of that
issue,
yet.
right?
Yeah, it does. But
we just shot a bunch of daylight and didn't have that, like with big puffy clouds. So it was like really blown out. Tess, you've blown my brain. I now have to figure this out.
We'll have to recreate this in some way.
All right. You can go back to it if you want.
That's fine.
Jeff's sitting here. Any questions for Jeff about color while he's sitting here?
Scopes. Interesting.
That was on scopes test?
I have not seen that test, so I will have to see if I can recreate that with Drew this week.
Yeah, we're going to definitely dive in. That's really crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I have a vector scope up right now, and there's no clipping, and I'm at 80 IRE. And that's on my Shogun, but there's no clipping.
Yeah, Sully has a good idea right there.
There you go, Sully. Test, check your in-camera luminance levels. Yeah, that could be an issue. That sounds really crazy, but if we can prove it as a team, which we've done so far with everything else, and when I say team, guys, I don't mean short beard, long beard.
Thank you, LD Films.
Glorious. I still want to park these one day, and I want to be standing behind it.
Coralto again.
Yeah, I know. But
don't
glorious beard.
Secret yet.
Yeah. The Jeff gang.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, we're the team, so I wonder if we can replicate it. Tess, check your levels and see, and if not, hey, you know what, Tess? Can you send us a piece of footage?
Oh yes, please.
Here. Oops, I'm typing on the wrong keyboard. I don't know if I just broke something.
Yeah, either one of us is fine.
Yeah, send me an email at drew@craftshow.com. You guys can all send me an email. I don't really care. I'll read them.
Brian Vision, Drew's talked about the Vedras before. Neither one of us have used the Vedras. I've used Hawks and
Hawks are PL
SLRs,
lenses.
and actually an Ingenue that was anamorphic once, but never used Vedras. I'm kind of interested in them. Drew's very interested in them, so we'll probably end up getting some to check.
I'll definitely get one. All right. So, any other questions for Jeff the colorist about color?
I'll be here all day.
Yeah. Vlog, shooting vlog, doing all that stuff.
I will scoot back up. Funny.
He'll scoot back up if he needs to. I pretty much covered everything I needed to cover. If anybody's still here, is anybody still here that wanted to see that nighttime shot again of the fireworks, if I can figure out how not to break the computer? When finished loop. So it should start. All right. Let's see what happens. Does anybody want to see the fireworks? I hate kind of being ahead of everyone. That's the hard part, because I have YouTube open here and camera here and Wirecast up here. And so what ends up happening is I look here and then I flash my eyes over and I'm out of sync over here and then I'm out of sync up here, and it's just like a whole out of sync issue. Brain vision. He said Brian Vision? Sorry, buddy. Brain vision. You got it. Does he condition the beard or no?
Yes, I do. I oil it every day.
Jeff oils the beard every day. Ooh, I've not tried Samyang, whatever, however you say it. I haven't tried those lenses.
Which one?
You have 12-25-50, really? Where are you in Florida? We're not far from Florida. We're on the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might be. I'd have to look it up. Man, I keep losing signal. It's driving me crazy. I'll have to look that up for sure.
Shit, not joined over there. It's not my computer is.
Talking about vlog before the firmware update. I don't know. I don't know what all's in the firmware update. I'm not like that dialed into the world, but I do know that I personally would not monkey with vlog unless I was shooting short films. Honestly, maybe a commercial, a really high-end commercial, because the amount of post-production time that, let me retract that one set. Let me caveat that rather. The amount of post-production time it takes to make vlog look good is going to cost money somewhere, whether it's your own time money or somebody else's money. It's going to cost money to get it to where it needs to truly be. Despite dropping a LUT on it, if you really want to shoot vlog, you should also then, and this is the advantage of it, take the time to learn how to really light it and shoot it, and you'll actually be an expert. One thing I do know is that if you're shooting vlog, and we've said this before, but I'll just give you a pro tip, 18% or 50%, is 18% gray? Is 50? Right. 18% gray card should be exposed at 40 IRE.
No, 42 IRE.
42 IRE, sorry. The secret of life, 18% gray vlog should be exposed at 42 IREs. You're going to clip your highlights at 80 IREs, right?
Yep.
At 80 IREs, and your blacks are going to need to be exposed at 9 IREs, and that will give you enough width in your exposure. That's just something I have learned and have gone through the process. That's my opinion. Yeah, so I would just sit on Cine D if you're not really wanting to get in the vlog side of things. However, the cool thing about the firmware update could be that if what I've been reading about the GOP issue and all that stuff, the GOP issue and all that junk, GOP, good grief, the GOP issue, if it does change it and it does what the rumors like Cinema 5D or Cinema 5D, whatever it is, have been saying, that's going to be pretty rad. It's supposed to record footage a lot better. fireworks. Here we go. This is low light stuff. I just wanted to show it again. That's low light GH5. Low light. 800 ISO, not noise corrected, just straight off the camera. You can see multiple exposures. Dynamic range aplenty. Nothing's really clipping and goring crazy. Drone talk. Hello, Smart to Rent 1. Oh, for a drone? Yeah, I would rent a drone. Actually, what I would do is rent a drone pilot that has a certification, and then they can actually let you fly, so you can crash their drone. Pro tip. Whoops, I keep hitting the wrong button on the little... It's got a little switcher built in. Let's look at... I don't like the smooth. I don't even know if I can change it. Yeah, let's just do a straight cut. Straight cut. J-cut. Hey, that's better. I like cutting. I agree. Great, thanks. Great advice getting vlog. Yeah, I'm serious, Oscar. Just, you know, man, I wish you could share it. Like, can I temporarily loan you my vlog? Like, deactivate my, you know, that'd be kind of crazy. Natural profile is my jam. Yeah, natural profile looks good. We shoot standard. Our custom standard is what we've ended up with. I just love standard. It works so well. Just pull out some of the color so you have a little more latitude. That's how we do it. All right, so we've been on for about an hour. And I just wanted to say one more time very quickly how grateful Jeff and I both are to have such an amazing community of wonderful human beings. I've seriously learned more in the almost 4 months that we've been doing these videos about not just about the GH5. I've learned more as a filmmaker in that, and that is directly and wholly responsible, or you guys are directly and wholly responsible for that. So I really appreciate it. My family appreciates it. I appreciate it. It's given me a great creative outlet. You guys have inspired me to be as creative as I humanly possibly can. It really does mean a lot. It's a big deal. And certainly the other side of this is, you know, look, as a creative guy, I dump a lot of energy and passion into my projects and whatever I do. And, you know, sometimes it's brutal. And the trolls don't tear me down. I tear myself down, but I struggle with darkness at times, and I have a streak of depression that I fight through. But one of the things that's been really helpful is having people literally encourage me as much as I hope I'm encouraging you. That means a ton. That truly has kept me out of it. That, and I cut out sugar. No sugar for me. I'm already crazy enough. I'm like a monkey on cocaine. We know that. But anyway, seriously, I really do appreciate it. 1,000 subs plus, that's wild. I would have never pegged that. But let's keep growing, because I really want us to get to a spot where we can start like giving shit away. We just need to start giving things away, like cat lights. And we need to smuggle them into Germany for LD. And Jeff, I don't know where you are, Jeff. If Jeff, you're in the US, high five. What's on tap for today, beer-wise? Oh, Kyle. There's Kyle from... Kyle, we're going to Hab tomorrow. Hey, if anybody wants to meet us, we're going to be at the Haberdasher tomorrow at 4 p.m. Haberdasher, Mobile, Alabama. Woo, roll tap. Yeah, we're going at 4. We're going for happy hour because their drinks are cheaper.
Yeah, 4 to 6.
I'm doing Resolve. Greg, yeah, check eBay. Look at all this comments. Like, we need to have this. Peter McKinnon and you are my favorite. I like Pete. He seems like a very nice guy. You're doing it all perfectly. You balance humor and knowledge. Thanks for your time. Oh, thank you. Man, you guys are stupid awesome. Stupid awesome. Miami, Jeff. We were just down there, kind of. We were in Tampa, kind of.
Yeah, that's the other side of the state.
I was in Sarasota. Is that close?
No.
Longboat Key?
Yeah.
I went to Miami once. True story. I met a girl on the internet. Went to Miami. Did not turn out well. For me. Or her. Or her father. The next Lifetime movie. I don't know what any of that means. Don't take that seriously. I was with a friend.
Not me.
Great stuff, great show. You guys are great. All right. Yeah, I was going to do a Batman thing, but it's going to kind of spoil it. Like, if you... I would have to get off camera over here and then hold back. It just would... I was going to Batman. Is Batman your favorite? Do you guys like... We have new guys. We had Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
We have Ripley now?
We have Ripley from Aliens.
Uh-huh. Goldberg.
We have...
Goldberg's got to show up there. Goldberg's got to show up.
We have Goldberg. Anybody got any ideas for him? I haven't figured out any comedy for him yet, except for Who's Next, and you kind of have to watch wrestling to get it. I'm trying to think of... Do you have a favorite character, a favorite skit from the show? What's your favorite gag? Is Batman your favorite gag?
Batman's everybody's favorite.
Is it going to be Batman?
Drake. There's somebody for Drake.
The Batman skits. All right, I see how it is. It's Batman-centric. You're going to make his ego swell. That Batman's amazing too. It's actually a Sam Keith Batman. It's designed by comic book artist Sam Keith, who did the Max. If you guys aren't familiar, I highly suggest checking out the Max. It wasn't MTV, but it was also a comic beforehand.
Yes.
Did some amazing Wolverine covers. Plus more. I want more Christopher Walken. You'll never get chairboard. I feel like
Fett. We do have Boba Fett.
I think chairboard. You're like the happiest troll I know, bro. You and where was Jay Coker? Jay Coker. What about Malcolm Reynolds? He needs to make
We do have a Malcolm Reynolds, actually. I'll have to bring him up here.
We have a Malcolm Reynolds.
We have a Slave Leia, too.
Oh, we have a Slave Leia. That'd be delightful. If you could incorporate Elvis Presley into your vids, it would be... All right, Tess? All right, you asked for it, Tess. I'm writing it down. I got the big green pencil.
We'll figure it out.
It feels like that's how I talk to my kids. I got the big green pencil, and then I put a star by their name. I don't know what any of that means. I've been talking for too long.
Sherborne's a giant fan, not a troll. Come on, Drew.
I'm a giant fan. No, bro. I like the football players. Hey!
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm kind of an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not like it. Oh, I like Coulson. Yeah, Coulson would be good. That'd be clever.
Would be.
All right, so last thing is we always like to do, what do you want to see? I think we should do a lens shootout. So we had the Vedras. What are the other lenses? Let's talk about lenses you want to see, and we'll rent some. Vedras. We had the Sammy Yang that we could never figure out if that's how you pronounce it or not. That's okay. Who cares? We're gonna do
those are good lenses.
The Sig 1835. We'll do obviously the Leica that we already have. What else do we want? What else do we want?
CP2 on there just as a control because we haven't.
Oh, a CP2 for control. That's good. CP2. Oh yeah, the Voyage lander.
Voigtlanders. It's great lenses as well.
Voigtlanders. That's good. Good call, Kyle. Is there any other lenses you guys want to see? Anything?
Of course, that was Kyle.
Anamorphic lens, shootout 25, Anamorph 40. Woo, LD, you pushing it.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I like that too.
Working on zines.
Ooh, yeah, we should do some zines. Holy crap, this is gonna be long.
Because Kyle's wanting to buy some Rokinons, I think.
Wait a second, why does Kyle keep suggesting lenses he wants us to pay for? Kyle. Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'd like to get my hands on one. I got to see if I can where I can rent them. Do they have them at Lens Rentals? Do you know, Trev? Are you in the States, Trev? I can't remember. I just started calling you Trev, whether you like it or not. Love behind-the-scenes lighting setup. Matthew, yes. In fact, oh yeah, the original point of the show, if you remember, was called Teaser Tuesday. I abandoned it after one episode, the very short-lived Teaser Tuesday. So I can't show that one commercial still, even though I have great ways of how I lit it. They will not let us. In fact, someone else posted a video about that, and it was a whole big thing that got us in trouble. So I do have another commercial we shot that does have some pretty crazy breakdowns in it, and I will do that. We'll talk about the lighting breakdowns. It's a comedy commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got different camera usage. We did not have the GH. In fact, the GH5 wasn't even out at the timing of this one commercial, but it is very good practical on how you can shoot 3 spots in one day and make tons of money and make clients and their clients very, very, very happy, if that works.
Maybe we can bring Six Top in to discuss that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we can bring Six Top. That's early reference. That's looking back. Oh, my God. We're going to have so many lenses. Yeah, I got the Vedra primes down.
Wow.
Oh, you're in Boston.
Ooh.
Who we know? We have a friend in Boston.
Evan Boyshers from up there.
Yeah.
Up in that area.
Yeah. That's Jeff's friend.
Yeah.
All right, LD Films, your mission is to find smuggling routes for cat lights. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I actually
put it on the list.
In all fairness, I really do have a contact at Cat Lights. I'm going to be like, hey man, can I somehow get these to Germany? I wonder if I can. I bet there's a way to do it without there being a problem. They're great lights. And I'm serious. Those lights are one of my favorite tools. We use them so much. Sometimes grips and gaffers look at you like you're a novice when you break those out. Just don't worry about them. Because they're going to love you for the fact that they didn't have to set up, a bunch of extra gack at wrap time. So who cares? Just get the shot the way you need it.
Hey, Sully knows him. He is a cool dude. Like him a lot.
All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to say again, Jeff and I, on behalf of CRFTSHO,
yes,
the 2 guys that are part of it, you guys are essentially part of it. Thank you so much again. Truly appreciate it. What else can we do to... Got to get them to Spain. All right. All right. So we're gonna start a cat light smuggling business.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
I'll probably
Nathan
make
Drake.
some more money.
Drake Company cat lights is what we're gonna go, because I love Uncharted. Anyway, thank you guys so much for everything. Truly appreciate it. We'll have another video coming out Thursday. Hopefully, we should. And we'll keep going. Don't forget to tell us what you want to see. You know, you've already subscribed, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But if you haven't, please feel free to. Yeah. And I guess maybe this video goes up later, so subscribe and hang out, because we had a great conversation. And I wish all these comments got to fly over.
We could shoot something decent this weekend.
Oh yeah, we may.
Yeah.
We are going on a cool location scouting gimmick.
We'll bring y'all something back.
Yeah, with the Anamorphics. Hell, maybe I'll try and broadcast live from the weekend from the top of a mountain. Whoops, spoilers.
Oh, I know we can do it from somewhere else though.
What's that?
2 other spots.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll see what we can tie out. Thanks again.
We'll try to do something.
You guys are the best. Truly appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Shoot me an email if you have any questions or ideas. Drew@craftshow.com. DREW@CRFTSHO.com.